It is JD Northcutt of Moore Lions football. JD, so thankful for you to be able to join us here on short notice today, by the way. Thank you.
Hey, you bet, man. I always love talking high school football and really appreciate the opportunity. And thanks again for reaching out.
Absolutely. Okay, JD, you do a lot of state championship football games, as we mentioned, but you also are the voice of the Moore Lions. And my, oh my, what a year it is for the Lions so far. 3-0 start for them and going for a city-state championship this week. But talk about the Moore Lions and the excitement with that program.
Well, I tell you what, it really has been a fun time. Of course, when you've been around as long as I have, you see kind of the good, the bad, and the ugly. But a lot of good right now. Like you said, 3-0, defeated Edmond Memorial in 0 week, and then took care of the Westmore Jaguars for the first time in 20 years. So kind of got that monkey off our back. And I always think about the NFL Films video of Steve Young saying, hey, I got the monkey off our back, and when he was took over the quarterback there for the 49ers years ago. But the monkey's off the back, and so the Lions had a nice game against a very talented Norman Tiger squad, and then we had the week off. So 3-0 start, but you guys know as well as I do is a 3-0 start in non-district play is great, a lot of fun, and they'll get a lot of excitement, a lot of buzz in your program, but it's time to kind of shift that gear and to get ready to try to put yourself in position to get a playoff spot, and that all starts Friday night against the Southmoore SaberCats.
So you're off to a great start, 3-0. Is the team, or did the bye week come at a good time, or was it like, man, let's keep on playing, man? We're 3-0, we're feeling good about us. The students are happy, the teachers are happy, the principals are happy. We're winning football. Did the bye week come at a good time for Moore?
Yeah, I mean, at this time, you got 3 games under your belt. That whether it's high school, college, or pro, you're going to have some guys that are banged up. So it's kind of that catch-22. You do want to keep things going. These kids are 15, 16, 17 years old, so you want to keep them in that routine. But on the other hand, going through the 0-week deal is kind of at first I really wasn't for it, but I think it's kind of a positive to where you do get a little bit of a mental break, and then your coaches get a little time off too. I mean, you still practice every day and things of that nature, but basically to answer your question, I'll go ahead and go with it was a good thing for the Moore Lions football program to have a week off.
JD, this is Phil here, brother. Great to visit with you again. Talk a little bit about the Dawkins kid. He's one of the leaders in the program, and he's going to set the pace for Moore this upcoming Friday.
Well, I tell you what, Marcus Dawkins, he can play anywhere, probably just not big enough to play center, guard, or tackle on the offensive line. But I tell you what, if you change his jersey number and put him in a 50s number, 60s number, or 70s number, he would be a kid that would go in there and give it a shot. But he plays running back, wide receiver, slot receiver, wildcat quarterback. He plays in the secondary. He can play anywhere from – he can play strong safety, free safety, either side, boundary corner, field corner. He could even get up there and play a little outside back if you need him to. But Marcus Dawkins is the kid that kind of makes the wheel spin, so to speak, for the Moore Lions football program. And he's just a special kid. We had Daniel Highshaw a couple of years ago that ended up going up to play at the University of Kansas in the semifinal run that we had a few years ago. But Marcus is a special player, and you're talking about him, and I know that as the season continues with the success that he's had, and he's a team guy, but he's going to continue to get more accolades and get some more offers. A few schools are kind of reaching out to him, but I think things will continue for him.
Speaking with JD Northcutt of MooreLions.com, you can check him out. Moore has on the radio as well. KOKC, is that right? Is that true again this year?
That is correct, yeah. KOKC, this is my 31st year being with the Moore Lions football program, and we've been on it was old KOMA, but it's the same signal, KOKC. This is our 29th year being on that one particular signal.
JD, you might make it if you keep working hard. You might actually stick there.
Well, I'm kind of thinking about experience. I'm a little light on experience, fellas. And, of course, you guys have been at this a long time too. So when we all get together and work those state championship games, I tell you what, the old calculator gets pretty good heat to it by the time we had up all of our experience.
There's I look around. I remember when I used to look around and go, God, he's kind of old. And now I realize, I said that about a guy the other day, and I realized I graduated 4 years before he did. And I thought, well, that's not very good. So
yeah.
Goes quick.
We're all there, man. But you know what? The one thing that we all have in common, we might be a bunch of old guys, but you know what? We have a lot of fun with the relationships we have with these coaches and these players, and just the passion that we get out there and are able to relay the information that we can and to get people to where they can know about whether like what you guys do up there in Guthrie or what I do in Moore. And obviously we pick up as many side jobs as we can because we love it.
Yep. JD, you mentioned 3-0 in the non-district. Of course, what everyone likes to say, the second season with district play. In Guthrie in Class 5A, whether it be 5A2, 5A1, there's those games like Guthrie, Piedmont, McGinnis, Carl Albert. Those are 3 games in a 10-week season. Moore, where you've been for years, and don't, by the way, JD's been there long enough to call plays. If he hasn't called plays already for the offense, but talk about what it is week in and week out. I mean, you're in the same district with Union, Owasso. Norman North has had great seasons. Mustang has had great seasons. Southmoore had a year or two there before. But what's that like week in and week out of a team of Moore who has won 3, 4, or 5 ball games? What it's like to go week in and week out with a schedule as tough as Moore has to see every single year.
Well, I mean, it's just, it's the gauntlet or it's just, there's no really other way to put it other than it's just tough. You got to, if you get a victory on a Friday night against one of these very tough opponents, you have to enjoy it, and then you have to just quickly shift into, hey, we got to get ready for the next team, because like we have Southmoore this week that is they're 0-3, but as we mentioned earlier, everybody is 0-0 going into district play, and Coach Norman. Josh Norman, former Oklahoma Sooners, doing a good job of that program, and so he'll have his team ready to play. And Southmoore nipped the Moore Lions last year in the ball game last year. So I know that they're talking about that as well. But then you play Edmond North every year. I mean, Tanner Roof, Edmond North, Santa Fe's kind of been the team that has been in the upper echelon of the 3 Edmond schools, but every year, Edmond North and Coach Roof, they bring it to the Moore Lions, and that's going to be a tough out. And then we get into that, like what you talked about, the Union, the Putnam City Original, Carter Whitson, a former Oklahoma Sooner, is coaching there. They've got a really good quarterback in Hawkins. He's doing some nice things for them, and then you get into, the Owasso Mustang. So that's the coaches just have to have these kids refocus every week, whether win, lose, or draw on Thursday or Friday night, and then get ready to go the next week, because I'm in the field house all the time and around the locker room. And our Coach Brad Hill does a great job with his staff. And so it's keeping everybody focused and not worrying about going to the Sonic.
JD, of course, we can ask you 6A questions all day long, but you see 6A schools all the time. Is there another class, like if you have a Friday night off or a Thursday night off, is there another class that you kind of watch maybe a little bit closer than others? I know Phil and I, we kind of like the Class A outside of 5A. Of course, 6A is always fun because of all the athletes, but we kind of migrate a little bit to Class A, a little bit to 4A. Is there a particular class that you kind of maybe look at a little bit longer than maybe another class?
Well, not necessarily, but I tell you what, I've been kind of keeping an eye on this year is Dell City Eagles, and who would have thought that Carl Albert would be in the situation that they're in, because you guys cover them very, very closely, and so that's kind of one of the things that just kind of caught my eye. And then you look out, I like to follow the Tuttle Tigers, and they've always have a good ball club out there, and it's kind of bounce around. I keep a close eye, and I know they're in 6A because I live in the Norman area. I keep a close eye on Norman North, Norman, but they're 6A1, and then to really get down to it, the Bixby Spartans,
Yeah.
they're coming our way next year.
Yeah.
So I'm watching that storm, and I mean storm in a positive light. I'm watching that storm approach 6A1 as they leave 6A2 after this season. So I'm keeping a close eye on 6A2 because the Bixby Spartans are coming our way.
I think I want to be a head coach in 6A2 because Bixby's leaving to 6A1, as you mentioned. Midwest City's leaving. Dell City's leaving.
It's wide open after this year.
Yeah.
Wide open.
Yeah.
So if you're Stillwater Choctaw, that might be the time to get it there. So
Well, and I think, we talk about this, JD, for my money, I think Bixby's the best team in the state of Oklahoma right now. I don't think there's anybody that I think that would be, I just think they're the best team. And obviously Mr. Presley has a lot to do with that. But set him aside. They've got a phenomenal program, athletic kids all over the place, great coaching staff, great community support. I mean, they've got it going on in Bixby, Oklahoma. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, Lauren Montgomery, their head coach. Yeah. I mean, he's a first-class guy. We get to cover some of their stuff with the other things that we get to do through in the postseason, and he's definitely I mean, all those guys up there, Keith Riggs at Jinx. I tell you what, Bill Blankenship. When I do the Owasso Rams on, when I cover one of their games, he's very, very gracious. Always takes time. So
he's a gentleman. He is a gentleman.
Those schools. I mean, we get to work together, and those guys always provide us the information that we need when we get to cover those particular schools. So, obviously, always keep an eye on those guys too, because it's going to be one of those situations where when we work together later in the year, that we're going to see. If not one of those teams, we're going to see 2 or 3 or 4 of those teams.
Right.
All right, JD, I'm going to ask a Phil question.
Oh boy,
this is a Phil question.
This is dangerous, JD. Be careful.
All right, man. I got my. I'm ready to go, man.
Be careful.
All right, you've been doing this for 30 some odd years. Give us a handful of names that have been some of the best players you've got to call on the radio.
Okay. Moore Lions is is Corey Ivy. That's my all-time favorite Moore Lions football player. Corey Ivy played for Coach Tom Knowles. He won a Super Bowl ring with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers the year that John Gruden was the head coach. As far as probably the best defensive player that I ever saw live was Rocky Kalmus.
Yeah.
The Moore Lions had a great run, but we just never could get past the Jinx Trojans in the late 90s. And then you mentioned one just a minute ago, Phil. Both Preston brothers are just they're crazy good. I mean, they're the one up there, obviously the older one at Oklahoma State. And I tell you what, the other day, another kid that just comes to mind as far as recent is the Shetron kid up at Edmond Santa Fe. He's a special kid. But, man, you go as long as guys like we have, there are just so many special young athletes, and then just some of the things that we get to do from covering the state tournament basketball. I mean, I got to cover like Jason White years ago, and I thought he was a pretty darn good basketball player.
Yeah.
We'd have to create like a power hour show or something, and just go through, just go back through. But yeah, man, it's so fun to talk about. But Corey Ivy for Moore, Rocky Kalmus defensively, and goodness gracious, offensively, man.
And was your Corey Ivy Corey L. Ivy or Corey T. Ivy?
Corey, I believe he was T.
Okay, he was the T. I remember the two of them there.
Yeah, because there were 2 Coreys at OU at the time. Corey Ivy.
Yeah.
JD, did you ever see Gerald McCoy?
Yeah, I saw him. He was down at Wynnewood, right?
Southeast.
Southeast, yeah. He was at
Southeast.
Yeah,
No,
Southeast.
Gerald McCoy. I'm talking about the
running back.
Yes, yeah. I'm talking about.
Yeah, Gerald McCoy was a D lineman.
Yeah.
No.
He was.
I never saw him live. I never saw him live in high school. Obviously, watched him when he played in college, and obviously the pros. But never saw him. But I'm sure you guys.
It wasn't fair, JD. Yeah. It just wasn't fair.
James Allen from Wynnewood.
Yeah. James Allen,
yeah. James Allen from Wynnewood. But
there's been some great ones.
Oh man, I tell you what, and I mean, talking about Carl Albert, the Zell brothers, and I mean, I was at the OU Nebraska game, and my son went with me, and I remember calling Ben Harris when he was the freshman starter for Carl Albert. And there's not too many quarterbacks in the state of Oklahoma, much less the entire country of high school football, that had a win-loss record like the Harris kid out of Carl Albert that's now, obviously you guys know, a preferred walk-on at the University of Oklahoma.
Well, and for us Guthrie folks, we felt like he played at Carl Albert for 20 years because we.
Oh, I know.
I mean, good Lord, it was like, okay, he's still here. That's not good. He's still here.
Ben lost 2 games in 4 years, and Carl Albert lost the first 2 games this year. Hey, JD, we can do this all day long. It's always fun to talk to you. I'm glad we got to talk to you in the regular season, and heck, there might be time down the road we get to talk to you for the playoffs even hit. So I appreciate you be able to join us on such short notice, and always a good friend. He's a great radio announcer, but an even better person
good man.
than he is. So, JD, thank you so much.
Hey, man, I really appreciate you guys reaching out. Just call anytime, and like I said, one of these days we'll get that off-season Power Hour show going, and we'll
fun.
Talk about we'll rank like 1 through 5, 1 through 10, or we always have fun. You know that. Look forward to seeing you guys later on down the line.
Hey, maybe we can pull that off the week before we do the state championship games this year.
Hey, there you go.
That'd be fun.
Give me a little. Give this old guy a little homework time.
Thank you, JD.
All
right. That is JD Northcutt, MooreLions.com, the voice of Moore Lions. Again, Moore 3-0.
Yeah.
They've already beat Westmoore, which they snapped a long losing streak to them. Take on Southmoore. So city bragging rights could go to Moore after this week, but more importantly for them, they'll be 1-0 if they can get past Southmoore.
Yeah, and you can tell JD's a high school guy. 3-0 is nice, but heck, we're all 0-0 now. You know what I mean? It's true. It's true.
Absolutely.